What's up? What's going on? Good morning. Shout out to my people. Shout out to True Warrior Scholar, always being in the building. Ambitions, Zofarita. What's up with you, sweetie? Appreciate everybody for being in the building. Let's get it. Let's have this show. I think you know. Where you guys at, man? All right, we gonna get it, man. Tap in with your boy. Good morning. Good morning. Ambitions. Shout out to Ambitions of a Rider. Desmond Hill, what's the deal? Hey, it's crazy, but shout out to everybody, man. Tap on in with us. The show is going to be wonderful, man. Absolutely. Right. So, yeah, man, this is part two, man. I wanted to get this part two, man. It is what it is. Tap on in with us. Let's get it. You already know we on point with the business. All right. All right. So, Pan Africanism strikes back straight up like that. Yeah, I got it. I got it wrong. I had to really see it. I said, "Oh, it's ambitions of a rider. Ambitions as a rider." I had to get my Pac on and my Tupac voice. Ambitions as a rider. Yeah, let's talk about it. What's popping? Let's get the people up in here, man. It's time to dive straight in. Let's get the conversation rolling. Where you guys at, man? Let's do this. Wendell, seek and you shall find. Each and every time, you got to take advantage of the window of opportunity. The window of opportunity, please take advantage. Let's get it for real, for real. My ambition's just a rider. Yeah. But anyway, man, this is part two, man. And like I said, I want to get the people up in here. I would love to get y'all opinion. Now, what's your thoughts on Pan Africanism? Pan Africanism, right? Then you think about foundational Black Americans, ADOS. I don't really hear people talking about ADOS. ADOS is like, no disrespect to ADOS, but um, they kind of faded away, man. They faded with the wind. They're gone for the most part. San Francisco Filmo. Hey, man, what's popping? Queens, New York, man. Shout out to everybody from across the world, across the country who's tapping in with me, King Supreme. First thing, Sunday, 7:20 a.m. West Coast Pacific time, 10:20 a.m. East Coast time, Eastern. Right. Shout out to you. He said it's not reciprocated. Hey, it is what it is, man. Foundation of Black Americans, beat one, stand up. We with the business. See me. I decided to bang for something better. I don't want to bang no red, no blue colors. That's a dead issue. Nobody wins that. What you have is a bunch of losses. Um, People who are unalive, people who are serving life in prison, people who are taken away from their children because they're in the street gang and they're locking brothers up. So that's a lose game. The blood and crip thing, that is a lose game. You gain nothing from that. So what I decided to do was to bang for something that's bigger than me, bigger than my community, We're speaking for foundational Black Americans all across the country. It is time to stand up, stand on business. If you're going to bang for something, bang for your lineage, bang for your family, bang for your children. That's what we need to protect. Though that's what's really important right there. If we're going to protect something, let it be our family, our children, our lineage. Let's stand on FBA business. That's where it really matters right there. Yeah. So if we're going to put it all on the line, we're going to do it for our family, our children, and our lineage. You know? So that's what we got to do. Shout out to you, man. Virginia 804. HTTC Full Live 1981. Hey, man, shout out to you. I appreciate you for being in the building. Now, like I said, let's dive into the conversation. Let's go. Let's see what Dr. Umar is talking about. Let's get into it.
Like, he wants to know why the foundational Black Americans don't like Caribbean Blacks. Honestly, you should probably ask their quote-unquote leader. I think their quote-unquote leader would have a better answer for you. But as the voice of Garveyism...
He wants to put this on the FBA and say, how come FBA don't like Caribbeans? Well, you could easily ask, how come Caribbeans don't like foundational Black Americans while benefiting from our struggle and everything we fought for? That would be a better question.
Don't like Caribbean Blacks. Honestly, Black Americans know why the foundational Black Americans don't like Caribbean Blacks. Honestly, you should probably ask their quote-unquote leader. I think their quote-unquote leader would have a better answer for you. But as the voice of Garveyism in the 21st century, and as the voice for revolutionary Pan-Africanism in the 21st century, I do not support that organization or its rhetoric, nor do I support the other organizations that are similar somewhat in scope, function, and philosophy. I believe in the total and unconditional unification and liberation of all African people in the world. I do not put conditions on my loyalty. I do not put conditions on my unity. I personally believe that all these organizations were thought up by hustlers and opportunists. I think some of them are funded by the power structure to divide Africans against Africans. I do not see anything good coming out of these organizations.
Well, people could easily say that you're a race hustler. They could easily say you're a race hustler and a scammer. Right? You've been talking about this school for the last 15 years, and yet and still there's no school. Right? And there's always some type of excuse for why the school is never going to open, right? And people are tired of it. So you ain't got no damn business calling somebody a scammer or a hustler. You know, you got some people who still rock with you, but you got a lot of people who don't, because they're like, man, this dude is a good talker. I give it to Dr. Umar. He's a good talker, but when it's time to deliver, nothing ever happens.
Organizations on my unity. I personally believe that all these organizations were thought up by hustlers and opportunists. I think some of them are funded by the power structure to divide Africans against Africans. I do not see anything good coming out of these organizations. None of them have a nationalist bone in their body. Most of them just want to beg the white man for reparations while they hate on African immigrants, but do nothing about the real groups that are stealing and robbing from Black people. They don't say nothing about the rainbow community. They don't say nothing about the white Latino community. They don't say anything at all about the feminists, but yet they want.
We don't say nothing about the white Latino community. Yes, I do all the time. We don't say nothing about the feminists. Yes, I do. Some of us younger FBA brothers who are still dealing with modern women, we speak on it now. The older FBA brothers, they're too afraid to hold women accountable for anything. Well, I'll just say Black women. They'll talk about the white woman, and that's not to bash our women. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is a lot of older guys in the FBA movement, they're too afraid to hold black women accountable for anything, so they won't say nothing. They'll pretend like they don't see what's going on between black men and black women, and they stay silent because they're too afraid to offend their female audience. So they tuck their tails and say nothing. I agree with you on that. A lot of brothers in the FBA movement are too afraid to address feminism within our own women. Now, they might touch on gang culture here and there, even though a lot of them really don't understand what gang culture really is, because most of them have never participated. Most of them never lived a lifestyle, so they really don't know. So I give them that. But if you're a heterosexual man, you deal with women. And for you to be silent and for you to never address feminism when it comes to our women, then you know, that's tucking your tail. The reality of it is that's tucking your tail, because we got to address everything. We can talk about deadbeat fathers who don't want to take care of their children. We can talk about gang culture, black men unaliving each other. We can talk about black women who are feminists. Why being a feminist is counterproductive for a black woman. We need to talk about all of that. We can talk about tethers, immigrants, white supremacists. Lay everything on the table. Listen, homie, lay everything on the table. Stop being afraid to speak up for what's right. Now, when it comes to the white Latinos, a lot of FBA brothers have been talking about that. Now, me personally, I've been talking about Mexicans and Latinos for the last 4 years, spreading awareness, putting people up on game about how Mexicans act once their numbers grow. So they'll be cool with you when they don't have numbers because they can't afford to make no noise. So you really won't hear nothing from them. They'll stick to themselves and just go to work and mind their business. Now, once they begin to overpopulate certain areas, that's when you're going to start to see racism coming from them. So when it comes to FBA addressing the white Latino, I think a lot of us have done a great job at exposing the anti-black Mexican, the anti-black Latino. So the only thing that I agree with you on is a lot of FBA brothers are too afraid to talk about black female feminists. A lot of them are too afraid to address that. You're right about that, but you're wrong about everything else. Hit the like button.
None of them have nationalist bone in their body. Most of them just want to beg the white man for reparations against Africans. I do not see anything good coming out of these organizations. None of them have a nationalist bone in their body. Most of them just want to beg the white man for reparations while they hate on African immigrants, but do nothing about the real groups that are stealing and robbing from black people. They don't say nothing about the rainbow community. They don't say nothing about the white Latino community. They don't say anything at all about the feminists, but yet they want to demonize and criminalize African immigrants. I do not support it. All African immigrants are my family. They are my brothers and sisters. I have no issues with them. Black people are very comfortable at the bottom of the barrel. Black people are very comfortable being at the bottom of the totem pole in America. Negroes are comfortable at the bottom of the social power structure as long as they got a cell phone, a car, a place to sleep, and they can buy some fried chicken and go to church. They cool. Negroes don't need much. All Negroes need is some fried chicken, a cell phone, a weave, a white girlfriend, some Jordans, a nice car, and they good.
A weave, a white girlfriend. This is false. This is a false narrative. The majority of black men are not with white women. So what do you mean they cool as long as they got weed, cell phone, some fried chicken, and a white girlfriend? Stop pushing this false narrative, man. Only 10% of black men date white women, and it's probably smaller than that, because if you think about the number of black men that married non-black women, white women might represent like 7%, and the other 4% might be, Latino, Asian, or others. There's a small percentage of black men who date white women. But when you look on social media, people exaggerate those numbers because it makes good money. You know, that type of content draws in numbers. So people will push that false narrative to bring in the views so that they could ultimately make some money. But no, that's a false narrative right there. Right?
So it ain't just the leader's fault, it's the people's fault. But I appreciate.
You keep talking about it ain't just the leader's fault, it's the people's fault. They keep trying to label Tariq Nasheed the leader of the FBA. The leader of the FBA, you know, they're trying their best to attach that label to Tariq Nasheed. Right? So they always say the leader, the leader, the leader.
Weave, a white girlfriend, some Jordans, a nice car, and they good. So it ain't just the leader's fault, it's the people's fault. But I appreciate David Banner. I appreciate Dr. Claude Anderson. I appreciate Dr. Mariwa and Ajwa Kwesi. I appreciate Dr. Leonard Jeffries and Queen Mother Rosalind Jeffries. I appreciate Baba Smalls. I appreciate Charles Finch. I appreciate Dr. Tony Browder. Who else? I appreciate Dr. Baruch of Everlasting Life Cafe. I appreciate Queen Afua. I appreciate the brother. What is his name? He's a holistic health. I appreciate all the holistic health practitioners. I appreciate all the holistic health practitioners. Everybody else is making YouTube videos. They're not doing nothing.
Why do Dr. Umar get on camera looking dusty like that, man? I mean, damn, bro. Like, comb your hair. Do something.
Care if you a respect to FBA, no disrespect to ADOS, no disrespect to the Pretendian Nation. But if you are divisive of the African family, or if you don't identify African family, if you are divisive of the African family, or you don't identify with the African family, you are not allowed at the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. This is for Africans.
Well, you're not welcome. Looks like nobody is welcome because the place ain't gonna never open. Are you gonna welcome somebody to a place that's never gonna open? You FBAs and you ADOS people, you're not welcome to the FDMG Academy. There is no FDMG Academy. It's a figment of your imagination. It's never gonna, you'll never open this school. You're selling the people fantasies, but you keep the money. So if anybody's hustling, it is you. You know how much money people send you and you've never opened that school? And it's been over a decade and nothing has happened. But it's the white man fault for why the school ain't gonna never open. See, it's the white man stopping my progress. The white man don't want me to educate my people. And on top of that, you black folks ain't send me enough money. And the white man is doing everything in his power to shut me down, to stop my progress. So it's the white man's fault for why the FDNG Academy is never gonna open. He don't want to be held accountable. He sold the people dreams for over a decade. Nothing is going to happen. He continues to pocket the money, and he got the nerve to call somebody else a scammer, or a so-called hustler. Ain't nothing wrong with being a hustler as long as you're hustling for a good cause.
I will not be debating Dane Calloway because I only debate my equals. All others I teach. But I would like to know, is he building any institutions for our people? Because all I see is YouTube videos. See, I believe in solutions, not intellectual masturbation. I believe in solutions, not intellectual masturbation. I believe in solutions, not intellectual masturbation. No disrespect to the brother. But is he building any institutions? Because I don't care if you are a Pan-Africanist. I don't care if you're a Christian. I don't care if you're a Pretendian, Aboriginal, African. I don't care what you are. We need schools, banks, hospitals, supermarkets, and distribution. I don't care what you call yourself. If you want to be a pretendian, I respect your right to be a fake Indian. I have no problems with you being a fake Indian. But I want to know, what schools is Dane Calloway building? What hospitals is he building? What supermarkets is he building? What bank is he building? Nothing at all. Nothing at all. All YouTube videos, bring me some damn institutions. Bring me some institutions. If you ain't building institutions, you're a waste of my damn time. I do not debate. I teach. I only debate my equals. He is not my equal. No disrespect.
He said Dane Calloway don't deserve a debate because Dane Calloway is just a YouTubian. He's just a pretendian / YouTubian.
Brother, why don't you post on LinkedIn? Why do I need to use European platform when I can talk to my sisters directly? Why do I need to use LinkedIn when I can talk to my sisters right now? I'm already LinkedIn, my brother. I don't need LinkedIn. I'm already LinkedIn. I'm King Kong. What are you talking about? I'm the most requested, most revolutionary, most relevant black scholar on the face of the earth. I'm already LinkedIn. I don't need LinkedIn, you African. Let's keep going. And that's it for the internationals. That's it for the internationals. I need traveling secretaries. And I need Team Pan-African. We about to rebirth Team Pan-African. We about to rebirth Team. And let me be clear. For the pretendians, you're not allowed at FDMG. FDMG is for Africans. I want to be clear. The grand opening of the first school in American history built exclusively with African diaspora money. Let me be clear. The Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy, the first school in American history built exclusively with the African dollar, is only for Africans. If you are a pretendian, if you are an ADOS, if you are an FBA, you are not allowed. No disrespect to FBA.
He said, FBAs, pretendians, ADOS, you ain't welcome to the FDMG Academy. Well, Dr. Umar, looks like nobody is welcome to the FDMG Academy because it's never going to open. Never going to get it. Never going to get it. Y'all remember En Vogue back in the day? Never going to get it. Never going to get it. That school ain't going to never open, man. You pretendians, you're not welcome to the FDMG Academy. You ADOS, you're not welcome. All you FBAs, your leader, Tariq and Nasheed, you pretendians and foundational Black Americans, you are not welcome to the FDMG Academy. It is Dr. Umar Ifatunde, the King Kong of consciousness, the Prince of Pan-Africanism, the King Kong of consciousness, the Prince of Pan-Africanism. Yeah. You are not welcome to the FDMG Academy. No pretendians, no FBAs.
No disrespect to the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy, the first school in American history built exclusively with the African dollar, is only for Africans. If you are a pretendian, if you are an ADOS, if you are an FBA, you are not allowed. No disrespect to FBA, no disrespect to ADOS, no disrespect to the pretendian nation. But if you are divisive of the African family, or if you don't identify with the African family, if you are divisive of the African family, or you don't identify with the African family, you are not allowed at the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. This is for Africans. No disrespect to none of you, but I want to be clear right now. This is Pan-Africanism or perish. This is all Africans for every African and every African for all Africans. United we stand, divided we fall. If you preaching division, you preaching hate, you preaching conflict, you instigating diaspora wars, you are not allowed on my campus. I do not support division amongst Africans. You understand me? The Nebraska African is as much my family as the African in the Netherlands, the African in Namibia. We are one family. I do not put Africans in groups. We are one people, one race. So if you into that, and that go for my continental Africans too, that go for my Caribbean Africans too. If you are a Caribbean, what's the word I'm looking for? But it was the word chauvinist. If you are a Caribbean chauvinist, if you a continental African chauvinist, if you Australian chauvinist, if you a Nigerian chauvinist, if you think you're better than other black people because of where you live, if you think you better than other black people because of where you are, if you think you're better than other black people because of the language you speak.
Okay, Dr. Umar, first you got to unite Africans in Africa because you call yourself a Pan-Africanist, right? There's no unity in Africa. They're too separated through tribes and all this whole other stuff, right? So if Africans can't get it together amongst each other, then what makes you think they're going to be able to connect with foundational Black Americans for one common goal? I mean, that's wishful thinking at this point. It's not going to happen. Africans in Africa can't come together for one common goal. So what makes you think they're going to connect with foundational Black Americans for one common goal? That is wishful thinking. You are delusional. Clearly, you're delusional.
Or the chauvinist, if you are Nigerian chauvinist, if you think you're better than other black people because of where you live, if you think you better than other black people because of where you are, if you think you're better than other black people because of the language you speak or the flag you live under, you're not a Pan-Africanist. You are not welcome. That goes for the Caribbean African. It goes for the American African. It goes for the Canadian African, the South American African, the Central American African, the Continental African, the Asian African, the European African. No division. FDMG is a heaven on earth for African people. FDMG is heaven on earth for African people. Whatever you call yourself, if you don't put African in back of it, you're not welcome. It's real simple. It's real simple. It's real. Whatever you call yourself, if the word African.
Make sure that you bless the like button. It ain't nothing. And let's get some of you guys to support this show on a Sunday morning. Bless the Cash App, bless the Super Chat, however you will. Let's continue on with the show. Like, there's no unity in Africa, right? So all we can do as foundational Black Americans is unite with one another and get something cracking over here. That's all we can do. We got to unite with one another to get something cracking over here. That's the best we can do, right? Because all this Pan-Africanism and all this old crap, like, man, get it together, dude. It's not going to happen. And as foundational Black Americans, we got a lot of work to do over here. Right? It's hard enough for us to fix our problems here in the United States of America as foundational Black Americans. We got to get our house together first. Before we collaborate or connect with anybody, we got to get our house. We got to fix our house first. Clean up your own backyard, clean up your own house before you try to connect with other people. And Africa should do the same. Nobody takes Africa serious, right? Because Africa is divided. There's no unity in Africa. Africans in Africa can't even come together for one common goal. So it's impossible for them to connect with anybody else. They come to America to extract the resources from this country. Africans don't come to America to unite with foundational Black Americans. They come over here to take advantage of everything that we fought for. That's exactly why they come. They don't come over here to unite with us. No, they don't. Africans in Africa don't unite with one another. So what makes you think they're going to come way over here to unite with us? Make it make sense.
FDMG is heaven on earth for African people. Whatever you call yourself, if you don't put African in back of it, you're not welcome. It's real simple. It's real simple. It's real. Whatever you call yourself, if the word African ain't in it, then you don't need to be coming.
That's cool.
To Wilmington, Delaware.
That's cool.
You don't need to be coming to Wilmington, Delaware.
And that's cool, right? That's cool because, you know, he said if your name, if you don't have Africa in it, now you want to pay all this homage to Africa, right? What has Africa ever done for foundational Black Americans? I mean, seriously.
To separate yourself away from our African immigrant brothers and sisters so you don't have to share any of your resources from your reparations package is selfish, ridiculous, and unnecessary. We approach the issues that affect our people from a global to separate yourself away from our African immigrant brothers and sisters so you don't have to share any of your resources.
I want y'all to listen to this buffoonery. Now, we're supposed to share all of our resources with Africans. Have Africans ever reached out to us to share anything with foundational Black Americans? Absolutely not. So why do we need to reach out to Africans in Africa? Africans in Africa represent the majority over there in their country, the majority in the African continent, and they still can't get it together. They expect a group of people who are the minorities in this country to uplift them financially, to give them opportunities while disrespecting us at the same time. This is buffoonery, 100%.
To separate yourself away from our African immigrant brothers and sisters so you don't have to share any of your resources from your reparations package is to separate yourself away from our African immigrant brothers and sisters so you don't have to share any of your resources from your reparations package is selfish, ridiculous, and unnecessary. We approach the issues that affect our people from a global perspective. We need Africa. Africa needs us. The entire diaspora is interconnected and interdependent. We need each other. Yes, there's Africans who don't like African Americans. There's African Americans who don't like Caribbean Africans. There's Caribbean Africans who don't like British Africans. There's Canadian Africans who don't like Brazilian Africans. Yes, we have bigotry within the African race, but I'm bigger than that. And the Pan-African movement is bigger than that. And we understand that united we stand, divided we fall. To simply answer your question, you don't have to demonize African immigrants, and you don't have to weaponize your American African identity in order to protect your share of reparations. It's an unnecessary evil that was added to the pot that is undoing the relationship between Africans and the diaspora that many of us have been working towards for the greater part of our lives. And I would dare suggest, I don't think it's true, but it's possible. It at least has to be considered whether or not these movements are being financed by anti-African interests. Because these organizations really take off when? Around 2019, which is the year of return, when African governments was reaching their hands out to Africans in the diaspora saying, come home and be with us. I was in Ghana for the year of return celebration in 2019. So you mean to tell me it's just a coincidence that at a time when Pan-Africanism is at its height, these anti-African immigrant groups come from out of nowhere and start attacking and demonizing and criticizing and belittling African immigrants at the very time that the Pan-African movement is beginning to take off again? I wouldn't be surprised if I read a COINTELPRO paper 10 years from now that say that this was financed by the FBI. I'm not saying it is, because I think they would have chose better people to lead these movements if it was a government-financed thing. But I'm not going to rule it out. I'm not going to rule out the potential that there's some government involvement in these anti-Pan-African movements. Because let us be clear, the United States government has already spoken. It's been spoken of several times in national security study memorandums that the unification of American Africans and continental Africans is the greatest threat to American foreign interests. This comes from the State Department. The State Department said the only threat to what we're trying to do to this world, which is basically dominated, is the
Here's a travel hack I bet you didn't know about. When you're planning a trip, costs can easily start to add up, which is why
identified as being in African Americans.
cars in every
Interconnected, political, economic unity.
Make sure that you guys get those likes up, man. Who blessed the super chat? Let me see if anybody supported the content. Man, we only got one contributor so far. Shout out to DJX. Shout out to DJX. He said, keep up the good work, fam. Shout out to DJX for being the first and only person to support the show. Let's get some more people. DJS can't be the only person who appreciate the content. Let's get it. Shout out to everybody though.
Of American Africans and African Americans. Not Christianity, not Islam, not this, not that. Pan-Africanism is the only threat America has identified as being a risk to its global agenda.
Is that even
Pan-Africanism is not a threat, right? Because Pan-Africanism has been around for so long, right? And it's not a threat to anybody because Africans in Africa can't get it together. And these Hotep Pan-Africanists, they haven't done anything. You can't unite a group of people that's already divided. That's like when I say something about Mexicans and people come to my comment section and say, Red, you're dividing blacks and Mexicans. They're already divided. I can't divide something that's already divided. I can't separate foundational Black Americans from Africans because Africans in Africa are divided. They've never been united. So it's impossible for FBA to unite with a group of people that's been divided for centuries. Make it make sense. You can't divide something that's already divided, fool.
possibility that we could
Being a risk to its Africanism is the only threat America identified as being a risk to its global agenda.
is that even a possibility that we could connect back with each other in that manner?
Why not?
For one, I have some African friends that close friends with me. Like, I have, shout out to all my brothers in the city that we like slept together like brothers. And they expressed a lot of deep stuff to me, and they only trusted me because I'm West Indian. They definitely believe and taught in their culture, if you're American Black, that you are bad. And the only reason I was even accepted is because, my West Indian background. So I'm wondering, again, how do we, with that bridge, how do we even, if they don't even trust us, how do
we have to make sure we don't overgeneralize. As I said earlier, there's bigotry in every African population in the world, everywhere. There's nowhere you're going to go and not find some Black people who ain't got an issue with some Black people from somewhere else. But guess what? White people go through the same thing. Jews think they're better than Italians. Italians think they better than the French. French think they're better than the Irish. Let's go to the Asians. Chinese think they're better than Koreans. Koreans think they're better than Vietnamese. Japanese think they're better than the rest of them. So you have that in every race. So we don't have to be a utopia. The question is, can there be operational unity? And I believe that there can be, because as someone who's traveled every continent except Australia, where I'll be in the spring, there are genuine Pan-Africanists in Africa who want that unity. There are genuine Pan-Africanists in Jamaica who want that unity. There are genuine Pan-Africanists in Canada and France and London and in South America who want that unity. The issue is those of us who want it got to come together. That's all it is. Let's be honest. The white man is doing everything he can to keep us apart. Do you know that I've been told by Africans that when they come here, they're told by immigration not to mix with us? They're told. And another thing I think that we often discount.
They are told by immigrations to not rock with FBA. Like I said, Africans from Africa don't come to the United States of America to unite with foundational Black Americans. No, they don't. They're told when you come here, you better not unite with them. You better do your own thing. Separate yourself from them, and then we'll reward you. We'll give you government assistance and many other benefits from government programs. But the first thing you must understand is this: you better not connect with them American Negroes. Stay away from them. And that's exactly what Africans do. Am I mad about it? Absolutely not. I'm just kicking the hardcore facts.
The African immigrants, and I'm not saying anything bad against my African immigrant brothers and sisters. The Africans you meet in America are a certain kind of an African. They're the ones that the country felt comfortable enough with to let them over here. They're not letting the Pan-African revolutionaries over here. You understand me? They let that 3% that we got, it's a certain.
So what Dr. Umar is saying, the Africans that they let over here are the sellouts. The revolutionary Pan-Africans, America don't want them over here. They keep them out of America. They let the bootlickers, the shoe shiners from Africans come up from Africa to come over here. The real Pan-African revolutionaries, according to Dr. Umar, they don't allow them to come over. They keep them in Africa. In other words, he's saying the real riders, the Africans who really want to connect with FBA, those people are still in Africa. They don't allow those people to come to America. The white man does their best. The white man does everything in his power to keep the real revolutionaries from Africa out of the United States of America. Words of Dr. Umar. Is it true? I don't know.
They're the ones that the country felt enough with to let them over here. They're not letting the Pan-African revolutionaries over here. You understand me? They let that 3% that we got, it's a certain kind The radicals don't get here. I got friends in Africa who've been trying to get a visa for 30 years to visit me in America. Won't let them out the country. You know why? Because they real. You see what I'm saying? In a lot of African countries, you got to play the lottery to get a visa. You got to win the lottery to get a visa. Whether you can afford it or not, they don't even care. They're only letting a few of you out because they don't want the unity amongst the revolutionary Pan-Africanists. So we're judging an entire continent of nearly 1 billion people by a couple million African immigrants who happen to dance to the tune that America wants them to. We got to be careful with that. And so many brothers and sisters who take issue with the Pan-African program and who actually espouse the viewpoint that you just argued, they never been to the continent. You got people saying Africa don't want us. You never been there. You see, so my thing is we got to broaden our horizons. And at the end of the discussion, what this really is about, it's about American Africans who believe they have a future with the white man that offers more promise than a future with the black man elsewhere. That's the bottom line here. All these people you're talking about, these FBAs and ADOS, they believe they have a greater chance of working with this racist white man in America to achieve their ends than collaborating with their brothers and sisters around the globe. And I can tell them right now, history will prove them wrong. The only salvation for African people is with African people. The Honorable Marcus Garvey said a strong man is strong everywhere. I've seen it. When I travel, Jews are respected everywhere I've been. Arabs are respected everywhere I've been. Anglo-Saxons respected everywhere I've been. East Indians everywhere I've been. Guess who's disrespected everywhere I've been? Even in Africa, we are. Nobody respects us. They pay us no attention because we have no power. And power comes through organization. In order to build political and economic strength, we got to be organized. We are not where we are because we're black. We're where we are because we choose not to get organized because we're black. Why the Chinese running the world right now? The Chinese are the most organized people. When Mao Zedong started the Chinese Revolution, do you know what he did? He sent his students around the world to study what everybody else was doing.
So yes, we have a Pan-Africanist movement. Although Pan-Africanism was born in the United States. Oh yes, it was not born in Africa, and it was not born in the Caribbean. The first Pan-African meeting ever held. The descendants of the enslaved will rise again. We will help repair Africa.
Ambitions of a Rider. Shout out to Ambitions of a Rider for blessing the super chat. I appreciate you, sweetie. Much love to you. Pan-Africanism started in America, so it'll never work in Africa. You would think that Pan-Africanism would have started in Africa. The fact that you have to start that in America shows how delusional you are. If Africans really wanted to unite with foundational Black Americans, they would have did it a long time ago. They would have offered some type of olive branch a long time ago to connect, to unite with brothers over here in the United States of America, but that's never happened. It's never happened.
And we will help us establish a global government and kingdom, the likes of which the world has never seen, not even the great dynasties of Kemet, Washington, D.C., my Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey, New York, Connecticut Africans, my Mississippi and Alabama and Louisiana and Arkansas Africans. And last but not least, where I am today, on my way back to the United Snakes of America, as I prepare to head back to the United Snakes of America, the 50 Caucasoid snakes of America, I want to say peace and Pan-Africanism and bid my farewells, but only for a short moment, God willing, to my Central American Africans, to my El Salvador Africans, my Belize Africans, my Honduras Africans, my Costa Rica Africans, my Mexican Africans and Colombian Africans, and of course my Panama Africans. Panama, I am still here. Republic of Panama, Central America, I am still here. Republic of Panama, Central America, I am still here, but I will be leaving you soon. Thank you to the Republic of Panama. Thank you to Elder Rasela.
Hey, this is a parody that Tariq Nasheed did on Dr. Umar. Check this out, man. It's hilarious. And we're going to go back to that clip. This is hilarious. Check it. Hold on 1 second. It's hilarious, family. Check this out. I don't know why.
Peace and love. This is Herpy Hotep, the woke walrus, aka Papa, aka the Prince of Potato Salad, and I'm letting you know that I'm raising money for a new school because people said that I was stealing the money for the school for boys. And the new school I'm raising money for, it's the Harriet Tubman, Cicely Tyson, Nefertiti, Gladys Knight, Alkaline Water School for God!
I act stupid.
Peace and love, family. This is Herpy Hotep, the woke walrus, aka Papa, aka the Prince of Potato Salad, and I'm letting you know that I'm raising money for a new school because people said that I was stealing the money for the school for boys. And the new school I'm raising money for, it's the Harriet Tubman, Cicely Tyson, Nefertiti, Gladys Knight, Alkaline Water School for Girls! And I'm raising $8 million. That's right, I'm raising $8 million. And I need you to donate because I'm a descendant of Morgan Freeman. I'm a descendant of Ashford and Simpson. I'm a descendant of Tevin Campbell. And I need you to donate money. And people are jealous because all the women in the conscious community want me to smash the cookies! Peace and love, family. This is Herpy Hotep, the woke walrus, aka Papa, aka the Prince of Potato Salad. And I'm letting you know that I'm raising money for a new school because people said that I was stealing the money for the school for boys. And the new school I'm raising money for, it's the Harriet Tubman, Cicely Tyson, Nefertiti, Gladys Knight, Alkaline Water School for Girls! And I'm raising $8 million. That's right, I'm raising $8 million. And I need you to donate because I'm a descendant of Morgan Freeman. I'm a descendant of Ashford and Simpson. I'm a descendant of Tevin Campbell. And I need you to donate money. And people are jealous because all the women in the conscious community want me to smash the cookies!
All the women in the conscious movement want me to smash the cookies. I had to play that, man. That was hilarious.
Yes or no should also have a I see nothing. You at Bridgeport, Hamden, where you at?
Not far from Bridgeport, though.
Not far from Bridgeport. I got you, my beautiful queen.
Okay.
What's on your mind today?
Okay, so I've been on TikTok just browsing through a few lives and having a few arguments because I feel that Black Americans are not being seen in a political stance. Like we have skin folk in office, but they're not Black Americans, but they're speaking on our issues as if they are our voice and how that is wrong. And when I speak something about it, everybody's having a problem with
Shout out to Desmond Hill. Appreciate you, Desmond, like always. Shout out to Mogul Maze for blessing us with a Cash App as well. You dig.
it. Like it's a major issue for us because
Okay.
you don't have the Black
Let me give you
experience.
my perspective, and I like to get your insight on my perspective because I'm a Pan-Africanist. I come from a different angle, so I see all African people.
Hey, King Judah, I saw you, man. Hey, man, I gotta be real, man. I saw you, King Judah. You was on you went to the Black Authority show, man, and you had an argument with the Black Authority. Man, I said, what was that all about, man? He said Black people who voted for Trump was coons. He said a whole lot of stuff. Hey, shout out to Monique Robinson. I appreciate you for sending me that clip because I had no idea, man. But when I got home last night, I tapped into that show and I seen King Judah arguing with the Black Authority, you know? And it was crazy, man. I heard that. I said, my God. But anyway, let's get back to the content.
Or as family, no matter where they come from, right? With that being said, yes, one race. With that being said, I see nothing wrong with each branch of the family handling their own private business as long as it doesn't take away from the collective unity of the entire family. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a grandmom who had 10 kids, right? Each child has their own family. They got their own children. They got their own grandchildren. And there's a time and a place for each child to be with their own children, handle their own issues in their own house, right? So what goes on in my brother's house is my brother's business. It is not my business. What goes on in my sister's house is my sister's business. It's not my business unless they come to me and ask me to get involved. But at the same time, they still my family. We not enemies. I don't have to disassociate from them. I don't have to demonize them. I don't have to weaponize my experience against them. We still one family. My issue with some American Africans, because I do not use the word Black American at all. I am an African. I am an African in America, American African. That's me. So for us who are the descendants of the Africans who built this country, who have a unique history in America, a unique situation, I see no problem with us saying, hey.
She don't want to subscribe to Pan-Africanism. Sister's standing on FBA business. Dr. Umar is trying to convert her to Pan-Africanism, and she ain't going for it. Check it out.
We got some issues that our African immigrant brothers and sisters cannot represent us on because they haven't walked in our shoes in this country these past 400 years, right?
Yes.
I don't have a problem with that. I do not have a problem with that. When you say that there are African immigrants in public office, okay, who are speaking for the American African, I don't have a problem with that if they're speaking for me appropriately. But in addition to that,
no, they should not be speaking for FBA. Africans cannot speak for FBA, just like foundational Black Americans can't go to Africa and speak for Africans. So why should Africans be able to come to America to speak for foundational Black Americans? That should never happen. We should have nipped that in the bud a long time ago. But as FBA, we are here today and we are standing on business 100%. No way no African should be speaking for a foundational Black American. That makes no sense. You sound crazy. I want y'all to hear this again.
Their own family. They got their own. I like to get your insight on my perspective. Because I'm a Pan-Africanist, I come from a different angle. So I see all African people as family, no matter where they come from, right? With that being said, yes, one race. With that being said, I see nothing wrong with each branch of the family handling their own private business, as long as it doesn't take away from the collective unity of the entire family. Let me give you an example. Let's say you have a grandmom who had 10 kids, right? Each child has their own family. They got their own children. They got their own grandchildren. And there's a time and a place for each child to be with their own children, handle their own issues in their own house, right? So what goes on in my brother's house is my brother's business. It is not my business. What goes on in my sister's house is my sister's business. It's not my business unless they come to me and ask me to get involved. But at the same time, they still my family. We not enemies. I don't have to disassociate from them. I don't have to demonize them. I don't have to weaponize my experience against them. We still one family. My issue with some American Africans, because I do not use the word Black American at all. I am an African. I am an African in America, American African. That's me. So for us who are the descendants of the Africans who built this country, who have a unique history in America, a unique situation, I see no problem with us saying, hey, we got some issues that our African immigrant brothers and sisters cannot represent us on because they haven't walked in our shoes in this country these past 400 years, right?
Yes.
I don't have a problem with that. I
All
do
right.
not have a problem with that. When you say that there are
Oh, okay, cool. I had to take it back.
African immigrants in public office, okay, who are speaking for the American African, I don't have a problem with that if they're speaking for me appropriately.
They have no business speaking for us. And when have they ever spoken about us appropriately? I've never seen Africans from Africa come to America, get in politics, and represent foundational Black Americans properly the right way. I've never seen it. They come over here and they usually, oh, no, Blacks, we don't need reparations. These are the American Blacks. They're very, very lazy. They refuse to take advantage of the opportunities here in America. I came from Nigeria with $1 in my pocket, and my family is wealthy. My children are educated. Black Americans, they're lazy. No, we don't need reparations from the white man. That's the nonsense they start saying once they get over here. Once they get in a position of power, that's the nonsense they start saying about us. So, no. Foundational Black Americans need to speak for foundational Black Americans. I've never seen Africans speak on things that's beneficial for us as FBA in this country. They never do. And we shouldn't expect them to. You see how she look? Look at her face. She looking at him. Look, her facial expression says it all. She looking at, man, you crazy. Ain't no Africans gonna speak up for foundational Black Americans. They can't speak for what we went through. They're not gonna represent us properly. They never have and never will. She looking at Dr. Umar like, man, you a fool.
I see no problem with us saying, hey, we got some issues that our African immigrant brothers and sisters cannot represent us on because they haven't walked in our shoes in this country these past 400 years, right?
Yes.
I don't have a problem with that. I do not have a problem with that. When you say that there are African immigrants in public office, okay, who are speaking for the American African, I don't have a problem with that if they're speaking for me appropriately. But in addition to that, we should also have American Africans who know the struggle speaking for us. So I agree with you.
It doesn't seem to be, they don't seem to be the ones that
but let me
get in
finish
those
this
positions.
point. Let me finish this point, and I'm coming right to you so you can speak.
Okay.
Make sure you guys bless that like button if you haven't already. I mean, she was looking at Dr. Umar like, you crazy. When have Africans ever came over here to represent us in a proper way? They never have and they never will. We shouldn't expect them to. You know, they're not united in Africa. So what makes you think they're gonna unite with us in the United States of America? It's not gonna happen. It's a fantasy. Please come back down to reality. We ain't playing no games with them. We standing on FBA business.
If you say, Dr. Umar, I need more American Africans represent me in a political theater, I'm with you, right? American, I'm with you. But I'm also going to tell you, don't demonize the African immigrants who are there. The problem is not that they're there. The problem is we don't have more American Africans speaking up. You see what I'm saying? In other words, I'm not going to demonize an immigrant African.
Yeah, man, we got 400 plus people watching. Make sure that we have 400 plus likes. Get us 400 plus likes and we got 400 plus people watching. Show some love and support to the show. We dropping game. It's heavy. Hopefully you ready for this FBA business because we going to stand 10 toes down. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. You did.
For winning a political, speaking for us. So if you say, Dr. Umar, I need more American Africans represent me in a political theater, I'm with you, right? American, I'm with you. But I'm also going to tell you, don't demonize the African immigrants who are there. The problem is not that they're there. The problem is we don't have more American Africans speaking up. You see what I'm saying? In other words, I'm not going to demonize an immigrant African for winning a political office, okay? As long as they're not working against me. Now, if they're working against me, I'm going to identify and I'm going to isolate them. You understand?
Okay, and that's what we've been doing. We've been able to identify the Africans who come over here who don't speak, who don't have our best interests in mind. But you say that we are being divisive when we call those people out. Don't be a hypocrite, Dr. Umar. You are calling you have called foundational Black Americans. You have said that them FBA people, they're divisive, they're dividing Africans. When all we did was call out the Africans who don't have our best interests in mind. We call out these Africans who try their best to align themselves with the dominant society. Right? But when we call this out, you label us divisive, and all we did was call out the obvious. Don't be a hypocrite, bro. Don't be a hypocrite.
More American Africans represent me in a political theater. I'm with you, right? American, I'm with you. But I'm also going to tell you, don't demonize the African immigrants who are there. The problem is not that they're there. The problem is we don't have more American Africans speaking up. You see what I'm saying? In other words, I'm not going to demonize an immigrant African for winning a political office, okay? As long as they're not working against me. Now, if they're working against me, I'm going to identify and I'm going to isolate them. You understand me? Even though I'm a Pan-Africanist, I expect every branch of the African family to support every other branch. So if one of my Nigerian African brothers come to America and starts acting like a coon, I'm going to publicly identify and I'm going to isolate. If I catch you, my sister, demonizing and disrespecting immigrant Africans, I'm going to identify you and isolate you as a coon. So the rules do not differ for me. Respect everybody's right to represent themselves. That's what you're saying. I want American Africans to represent American Africans. I agree with you. I have no issue with that. But then if you turn around and say the immigrants are my enemies, that's where I have to draw the line with you, because the immigrant Africans are not my enemies. They are only 3% of all Black people in this country. They are the lowest immigrant pool, one of the lowest immigrant pools in this country. Most of what we built is not being taken by African immigrants. It's being taken by Latinos, feminists, LGBTQs, and ethnic white minority groups who we never talk about.
Now, I agree with that. I agree with that right there. They're using Latinos and the rainbow community agenda to destroy foundational Black Americans. I agree with that. I want y'all to hear that again. No, but we do talk about, no, this is where you're wrong. I've been calling out these anti-Black Latinos, and I'm not the only one. There's a few other brothers who do it, but I think I've been the most consistent with calling out the Mexican and the Latino community for their anti-Black rhetoric. I think I've been the most consistent when it comes to that subject. I'm just giving you the facts. I don't think you can't show me another foundational Black American in this space who's called out the Mexican and Latino community more than King Supreme. Some people might talk on it here and there. They might speak on it here and there, but I've been consistent over the last 3 years when it comes to calling out the Latino community for their anti-Black racism, mainly the Mexicans, but yes, other Latino groups as well. I've called them out consistently for the last 3 to 4 years.
I agree with you. I have no issue with that. But then if you turn around and say the immigrants are my enemies, that's where I have to draw the line with you, because the immigrant Africans are not my enemies. They are only 3% of all Black people in this country. They are the lowest immigrant pool, one of the lowest immigrant pools in this country. Most of what we built is not being taken by African immigrants. It's being taken by Latinos, feminists, LGBTQs, and ethnic white minority groups who we never talk about. So my thing is, let's not unfairly dump on the African immigrant population when you got all these other immigrant groups who have stolen and siphoned off of Black people, and we say nothing at all. I ain't heard nobody talk about how the LGBT have siphoned off of the Black struggle. I don't hear nobody talking about how anti-Black Latinos, not the African Latinos who identify with us, but the anti-African Latinos, nobody talks about how they have siphoned off of the Black movement as well. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are with all people who have immigrated here and
Okay.
are not for the benefit of Black Americans who are here. I'm not narrowing down just Africans.
Okay.
I'm just, to me, I haven't seen where it has benefited the Black community personally.
Okay, I got you. And
I lived here for over 40 years, so that's my observation.
Your opinion. There's one more thing I want to give to you, though. I want to make sure that the American African family, which I am a part, we need to make sure, my queen, that we are not always operating from victim consciousness or deficit perspective. I'm going to explain what I mean by that.
Is he deflecting? Because I think she was pretty honest and straight down the middle. Now, why did you cut her off? You've been talking for a long time. Let the sister speak. Let her get it off of her chest. She was making good sense. You keep coming with this Pan-African nonsense, and she's telling you, I'm from foundational Black Americans. That's what I'm rocking with. She's not preaching hatred towards other groups. She said, I'm for FBA and FBA people only. We got to get our own house together before we unite with anybody else. So I respect everything that she was saying. Go back.
Which I am a part. We need to make sure, my queen, that we are not always operating from victim consciousness or deficit perspective. I'm going to explain what I mean by that. I think sometimes we can operate from victim consciousness in deficit perspective too much. I want to give you an example. We are a $2 trillion economy, right? We spend $2 billion on Air Jordans a year. We spend $4 billion on liquor a year. Black women spend nearly $30 billion, mostly black women, black men in there too, but mostly black women, $30 billion on the beauty industry. From the products to the services to the shampoo, the oil, the lotion, the shea butter, blah, 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 blah. Let me ask you a question. If we were in a position of power in this country, power, let's say we owned some Black Wall Streets. Let's say we owned our own beauty supply. Let's say we had our
We
own.
used to.
Stay with me. You're right. And we still got a few small ones. Let's say we had our own hospitals. Let's say we had our own neighborhoods. Let's say we could put our own children to work. Let's say we had our own manufacturing. We have our own security. We have our own distribution. We are electing our own officials who we finance and control, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's assume that that was the reality for a minute. Do you think African immigrants would be acting differently towards us if we were in a position of power?
My stance is not only just
No.
directed
Stay
at
with my
them.
question. No, stay with my question. If we were operating from a position of power, Africans who come to America from the Caribbean, from the UK, from Canada, from the continent, from South America to Central America, from the South Pacific, from Australia. If we were in a position of power in America, like the Chinese are, like the Jews are, like the Arabs are, like the East Indians are, like the Anglo-Saxons are, if we were in a position of power, my queen, hypothetical question, if we were in a position of power, do you think African immigrants from around the world would treat us differently? Yes or no?
I would say yes, because when they get here, they stay to themselves. They don't really like try to come
Stay with me,
together
yo.
and be
No,
with us.
stay
They
with me. Stay
separate
with me.
themselves.
I want you to finish
Yes.
that. But I want, okay.
Be quiet. Let her answer the question, man, and be quiet. Let this sister give you her take on the situation. Stop interrupting. She's telling you how she views Africans once they come over here. She's calling them out for the things they do. This has nothing to do with feelings. She's calling these people out based on their actions.
If we were in a question, if we were operating from a position of power, Africans who come to America from the Caribbean, from the UK, from Canada, from the continent, from South America to Central America, from the South Pacific, from Australia. If we were in a position of power in America, like the Chinese are, like the Jews are, like the Arabs are, like the East Indians are, like the Anglo-Saxons are, if we were in a position of power, my queen, hypothetical question, if we were in a position of power, do you think African immigrants from around the world would treat us differently? Yes or no?
I would say yes, because when they get here, they stay to themselves. They don't really like try to come
Stay with me,
together
yo.
and be
No,
with us.
stay
They
with me. Stay
separate
with me.
themselves.
I want you to finish
Yes.
that, but I want, okay, they would treat us differently. So let me ask you a question.
They do it now.
Let me ask you a question. If you were an African, let's say you went to Australia, or you went to London, or you went to Canada from the United States. You are an American African immigrant into another country. And you saw when you got there, the black people there had no power, control no industries, senselessly waste their wealth with the same white people who they want reparations from. Do you think you're eager to become a part of them? Yes or no?
Yeah, because I'm going to be with my people. That's just who I am.
How can Africans come over here and say, we don't want to rock with FBA, but the only reason that they're over here, the only reason that they're able to come over here is because of our blood, sweat, and tears, the work that we put in. So how dare any African come over here with an opinion when they can't even fix their homeland, for one? For two, we're the only reason they can come over here in the first place. So who cares what an African has to say? Who cares what an African thinks? They need to be humble and respectful when they come over here. We're the reason that they can, if it wasn't for foundational Black Americans, they couldn't come over here in the first place. We fought for not just foundational Black Americans. We fought for people of color, immigrants. Everybody gets civil rights based on what we fought for as FBA. Why not say, well, Africans, you need to be humble because FBA paved the way for you to come over here in the first place. You didn't fix your homeland. You fled your homeland. And you came over here to benefit off of everything we fought for while disrespecting us at the same time. Nah, man, we ain't going to stand for it. So who cares what an African thinks about FBA? We have paved the way for them, not the other way around. We have paved the way for them and not the other way around.
Power. Control no ends. Senselessly waste their wealth with the same white people who they want.
Now, he's given Africans an excuse to disrespect foundational Black Americans. They can't even fix their homeland. Why should we value the opinions of people who fled their homeland? Then they come over here to benefit from everything we fought for. Why would we respect that? We have no reason to respect that. It is foolish. You can't fix your homeland. You fled your homeland and you come over here based on everything that we fought for. We opened the doors for you to come over here. But you got a negative opinion about us once you get here. We ain't having to get the step in. We're foundational Black Americans. We are not Africans. They can get the step in.
From the United States. You are American.
Now, I want you to listen to this excuse that he gave Africans to disrespect. Well, if I was an African, I wouldn't respect y'all either. You let the white man do this, you let the white man do that. So technically, the African has the right to disrespect you when he comes to America. The African has every right to not want to connect with you when he comes to America. Well, how come the African don't fix his homeland? How come the African didn't come over here based on his own hard work, based on his own fights and struggles? Nah, the African didn't do anything to come over here. He sat up there and they're leeching off of our struggle. They're leeching off of everything that we fought for while being disrespectful. You fled your homeland. We don't want to hear anything you have to say. Be humble, shut up, and pay homage to foundational Black Americans. That's it.
Like East Indians are, like the Anglo acting differently towards us if we were in a position of power.
My stance is not
no.
Just
Stay
directed at
with my
them.
question. No, stay with my question. If we were operating from a position of power, Africans who come to America from the Caribbean, from the UK, from Canada, from the continent, from South America to Central America, from the South Pacific, from Australia. If we were in a position of power in America, like the Chinese are, like the Jews are, like the Arabs are, like the East Indians are, like the Anglo-Saxons are, if we were in a position of power, my queen, hypothetical question, if we were in a position of power, do you think African immigrants from around the world would treat us differently? Yes or no?
I would say yes, because when they get here, they stay to themselves. They don't really try to come together and be with us. They separate themselves.
I want you to finish that, but okay, they would treat us differently. So let me ask you a question.
They do it now.
Let me ask you a question. If you were an African, let's say you went to Australia, or you went to London, or you went to Canada, from the United States, you are an American African immigrant into another country. And you saw when you got there, the Black people there had no power, control no industries, senselessly waste their wealth with the same white people who they want reparations from. Do you think you would be eager to become a part of them? Yes or no?
Yeah, because I'm going to be with my people. That's just who I am.
Okay, so you saying you're going to ride out regardless. I'm
going to be with my people.
That's how
I try to change how they think.
Do you think most American Africans would do that?
The ones I'm around, I can't speak for everybody else.
I don't think you're being honest when you say that. I don't think no group of any people, not just Blacks, I don't see no group of any race going to a completely different continent, seeing their people there in a servitude, unempowered position, and be in a rush to identify and help them. Nobody does that.
All right, let me tell you something, bro. FBA, we are the minority in this country. We've gotten more things accomplished than Africans did in Africa. Africans are the majority over there, and they're getting whipped by Chinese. They're getting whipped by Europeans. They're getting whipped by Arabs. Let me say this again. Africans in Africa are the majority over there. And they're being whipped by Arabs. They're being whipped by Europeans. They're being whipped by Chinese. Foundational Black Americans, we are the minority and we still take care of business. Africans couldn't come to America if it wasn't for foundational Black Americans. So what you're saying makes no sense. How can a tether who fled his homeland because he can't fix his homeland come over here based on what FBA fought for, but got the nerve to come over here with a negative opinion about foundational Black Americans? Make it make sense. Why should we value what a tether has to say when tethers can't even fix their own country? Then they come over here based on everything that we fought for. They don't come over here based on the things that they fought for. So at that point, nobody should value your opinion because you've done absolutely nothing. You a freeloader. You a backstabber and a freeloader at that point. And that's exactly how I look at these Africans. They are backstabbers and freeloaders. They are freeloading tethers. Let's benefit from everything that FBA fought for while disrespecting them at the same time. And you got to add in the fact that they fled their homeland. Who in their right mind is going to respect that?
Nobody does that. I don't think no group of any people, not just blacks, I don't see no group of any race going to a completely different continent, seeing their people there in a servitude, unempowered position, and being a rush to identify and help them. Nobody does that. Generally, nobody does that. The reason I'm bringing this up, Queen, is, in my opinion, and we can agree to disagree, but in my opinion, our issue is not how the African immigrants treat us. Our issue is how we treat ourselves. And our issue is we have allowed ourselves to remain at the bottom when we clearly have the ability.
See, what you're saying right there is wrong, because that's the mindset they have, that all Black Americans don't have anything. That's the wrong mindset.
Listen to me. If we are trying to empower,
man, this food ain't already done enough talking. Hold on, we got 500 something people watching, man, and we only got 200 something likes. Make sure that you guys get the likes up. Now, this is what I'm gonna do. I will drop the link, but I'm not gonna drop the link because it don't make no sense that we got 500 something people who are watching, and we only got 200 something likes, and we only got 3 people who blessed the Cash App. So, like I said, if within the next 15 minutes, if we get 5 more people, at least 5 more people to bless the Cash App, then I'll drop the link. If not, I got to move on to the next show because my platform will be respected. So we got 500 some people watching. We need to have 500 something likes, and we got to get some more contributors. If not, I'm not tripping. I'll just run the show to the hour and 30-minute mark. Then I'll move on to the next podcast that I got going on, because I got another show coming up in another 45 minutes. Now, if we can get these likes up, if we can get more contributors, I'll stretch the show out for a whole nother hour, and I'll take some calls and I'll bring some people up. Let's take care of business.
Ourselves as American Africans. If we are trying to empower, our issue is not how the African immigrants treat us. Our issue is how we treat ourselves. And our issue is we have allowed ourselves to remain at the bottom when we clearly have the ability.
See, what you're saying right there is wrong, because that's the mindset they have, that all Black Americans don't have anything. That's the wrong mindset.
Listen to me. If we are trying to empower ourselves as American Africans, if we are trying to empower,
those who identify as that.
Let me finish. Well, right, I'm American African. I'm not a Black American. So yes, we definitely going to disagree on that. So if we are trying to empower ourselves, I'm not worried about the immigrant African because I'm too busy empowering myself. See, I'm worried about the immigrant African.
We're not worried about the immigrant African. We're calling them out for their treasonous behavior. We're calling them out for being tethers and backstabbers, but we're not worried about them. For years, we've ignored these people, but it got to the point to where it's like, hold on, man. We got to call these people out. They're using our struggles to benefit themselves while disrespecting us at the same time, and we ain't gonna go for it. FBA gonna stand on business. Everybody got a problem that we are now standing on business. Haven't you guys noticed that? Now that FBA are standing, and now that FBA, we are standing on 10 toes down, and we're calling people out for the blatant disrespect. They got a problem with us calling other groups out for their blatant disrespect. See, they're not used to FBA standing on business. They're not used to us having unity and coming together to call out this nonsense from all these other groups. They're not used to that. So what they're going to say is, you guys are creating separation and division. We've already been separated from Mexicans. We've already been separated and divided from Africans. How can we cause divide? We can't divide something that's already divided. We're just calling it out. It's obvious.
Because I think he's going to get some of my crumbs that the master throws off his table onto the floor. Crumbs. Because
no, it's not about that.
Okay, so then what is your issue then?
First of all, I said I'm not narrowing it down to just them. I said that at least 5 times.
But you started out with them. Your initial comments.
I started out with, I don't see the representation of us in office. That's what I started off with.
You mentioned African immigrants. You didn't mention anybody else. You were specific to Black immigrants.
I said immigration is bad. It does not help Black Americans, period. Black African immigrants are not the only immigrants that are here.
I understand that, but that's not what you said in the beginning. Okay. But go ahead. That's not what you said in the beginning.
So I'm not narrowing it down or picking on any particular group of people.
But wait, time out. Let me clarify something, if I can. I said I identify as American African. You said you identify as Black American, and I respect your right to identify.
Yes.
Oh, stay with me. You do not identify as an African, correct?
No.
Well, then that's the problem then. Stay with me then. You don't see.
That's not the problem. She don't have to identify as African. Listen, I've never heard Dr. Umar call out Jamaicans for not calling themselves African Jamaican. I never heard Dr. Umar call out Haitians for not calling themselves African Haitians. But he got a problem with us because we're foundational Black Americans. He wants us to be Africans. Come on, Dr. Umar. How come you don't call out Blacks in the Caribbean for not identifying with Africa? They identify with their country. Haitians identify with Haiti. Jamaicans identify with Jamaica. Trinidadians identify with being Trinidadian. You never hear those people call themselves Africans. So if you don't have a problem with them not identifying with Africans, don't try to make us identify as African, as foundational Black Americans.
See them as your family anyway. You said you identify as Black American, and I respect your right to identify.
Yes.
Oh, stay with me. You do not identify as an African, correct?
No.
Well, then that's the problem then. Stay with me then. You don't see them as your family anyway. So it don't even matter.
You're older than me. You're older than me, so you used to hear them say,
you're Black.
You're
not an African. You're Black. So when you see an African immigrant, in your mind, you have no associated with them at all. Ancestrally, culturally, historically, nothing. So it's
they told me that.
So I'm not talking about what they told you. I'm talking about you. Stop passing the buck. We're talking about you. So then, if you do not see them as family on any level, then I see why you are adversarial towards them, because to you, they're no different than any other group. And if they're no different than any other group, why are you not also holding the other groups as accountable as you're holding the Black?
I speak against it all.
Your opening statement was about Black immigrants. Can we be honest about that?
But you didn't let me finish. You took on my question, but you didn't let me finish.
Shout out to Scoop for the super chat. Shout out to MJJ. You got a long name. Jcology 4631. I appreciate you for the super chat. Shout out to King Judah. King Judah has blessed us with a cash app. So soon as we get 4 more people, we get 4 more contributors. Then after we get 4 more contributors, I will drop the link. I'll bring some people up to speak. We got 600 plus people watching. Get us 600 likes. Make it make sense.
Okay, Michael. Yes, Michael. Okay.
So my stance is against anybody that comes here and tries to undermine what Black Americans have already done. I'm against. It don't matter if you Haitian, Asian, Indian. If you undermine what my people have fought for, bled for, been beat for, jailed for, hung for trees for, I'm against you. It doesn't matter if you're Black or Asian. I'm against it.
Originally, you only pointed out.
Be quiet, Dr. Umar. She's telling you, hey, this is my stance. This is what I believe in. This is where I'm coming from. Be quiet. Let the woman speak. She's telling you what it is. Just be quiet.
I agree.
Indian,
I
if you
agree.
under, but you didn't let me finish the whole entire thing.
Okay, the other group. Why are you not also holding the other groups as accountable as you're holding the black?
I speak
You did
against
not.
it all.
Your opening statement was about black immigrants. Can we be honest about that?
But you didn't let me finish. You took on my question, but you didn't let me finish the whole entire thing.
Okay, Michael. Yes, Michael.
Okay. So my stance is against anybody that comes here and tries to undermine what Black Americans have already done. I'm against. It don't matter if you Haitian, Asian, Indian. If you undermining what my people have fought for, bled for, been beat for, jailed for, hung for trees for, I'm against you. It doesn't matter if you're Black or Asian. I'm against it.
Originally, you only pointed out black people, and the reason I'm pointing
that out.
But I
had to finish.
Well, you could have said it then when you said Africans.
It's a
but
long
my point is the Black Americans, as I'm going to call y'all, and I'm going to distinguish Black American from American African in that although we're the same people, we have different mindsets. So the American African are those who see all Africans as part of our family, even if we take issue with them. Whereas the Black American, y'all see them as a completely different group. That's fine. But my issue with y'all is y'all pick on them exclusively. And I ain't heard y'all do nothing yet about the homosexuals exploiting the Black power.
Yeah, because they got all the rights when Obama was in.
About the Latinos.
They got all the rights when Obama was in.
About the white immigrants. All y'all talk about is African immigrants who are only 3%. That is not your problem.
Dr.
Our
Umar,
problem is us.
Dr. Umar, who gave the homosexuals all the rights when he was in office? What was his nationality? He was an African and half white. Obama.
Okay,
he gave them all the rights. Nothing for us.
Yes, Barack Obama proliferated it and popularized it. Can I ask you a question? Who voted for Barack Obama?
I did not.
Who voted for Barack Obama? Overwhelmingly Black people.
If Black people didn't vote for Barack Obama, you would be saying, hey, Black people didn't vote for an African. They didn't vote for a Black man. See, it's damned if you do and damned if you don't. If Black people didn't vote for Barack Obama, they would say, see, you guys don't support a Black man. You don't support the cause. Now when you think about the fact that we did vote for Barack Obama, well, you're the one that voted for Barack Obama. He the one that gave the rainbow community all these rights. He the one that created DACA and helped Latinos more than Black Americans. So if you voted for Barack Obama, there was a problem. And if you didn't vote for Barack Obama, that is a problem as well, because they would say, you don't even vote for the Black man. You don't even support the Black man. That's what they would say. So either way, they're going to have something to say.
It was the highest turnout.
Because he was portrayed as a Black man.
No. Don't make excuses. Did your Black Americans put Obama in office, yes or no? Yes or no?
I don't read it. I don't have the numbers.
Answer the question. Did they or did they not give him the highest voter turnout for a presidential election in American history? Yes or no? Yes.
They did.
And when he ran a second time, did they not do it again?
I don't know about
my
second
question,
time.
Black Americans, is why didn't you hold Barack Obama accountable instead of standing by celebrating him? I held him accountable. I'm one of the only voices.
And a lot of us did, but there's not enough of us who did. That's the issue.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think we should be focusing more on trying to control the behavior of African immigrants over which we exercise no power? Or should we be focusing more on channeling our $2 trillion into making ourselves into a superpower in this country? Where would you like to put your energy? If those were your
I would like to put my energy on getting minds to stop shopping at these people's stores who come into our community
I want you to answer
and
my
do
question.
Nothing for.
You
That's
did not
my
answer my
stance
question.
on it. I answered
You did not answer my question.
That's my focus.
You did not answer my question.
Go ahead.
I'm going to ask it again.
Go ahead.
Do you think we should focus on fighting and attacking? Okay, we.
Mm-hmm.
You said we. You said that to say what?
I'm not attacking anyone, Dr.
No. You said we. What did you mean by we?
You said
interrupted
we.
me and said we. Did
you said we should focus more on.
I stand with the sister on this one. I stand with her. We're not attacking. We're calling people out for their disrespect. We're calling Africans out for their disrespect. We don't go to African spaces to see what they're talking about. Africans come to our spaces to see what we are talking about. Let's set the record straight. I'm about to put food on a dinner plate. You dig what I'm saying?
No, stay with right. Did you say we as to say that you and I are not the same? Is that why you said we? I just want to clarify.
No.
Okay, because I thought that that's what you was trying to say.
No.
Okay,
No.
so my question is, would you rather focus on trying to stop the progress of African immigrants in America, or should we focus on using our $2 trillion in spending power to build ourselves into a superpower in this country? Which do you prefer? What do you think is the better use of our energy?
Of course, the economic part.
So why don't we focus on that?
Who said we all
Can I
have
ask you
to
a
speak
question?
for ourselves
Can I ask you a
individually?
question? Can you name me a single leader of the Black American We Hate African Immigrant Group that is
I don't hate
building
Africans, so don't put that on me.
Listen, I'm not saying you. I'm not saying you, but you clearly got an issue with them. But my
I said
question is,
anybody that undermines the
that's
Black
not what you said
American
in the
experience.
beginning. But listen
Anybody.
to that's not what you said in the beginning. But listen to what I'm saying.
What?
Can you name me a leader, listen, or an organization that has an issue with African immigrants who are trying to build a relevant institution for Black people? Give me someone who has an issue with African immigrants.
Why do clowns try to call other people clowns? Traveling to Africa don't make you important, doesn't make you knowledgeable. I know a lot of clowns who travel. I know a lot of guys who travel aboard, guys who pay for prostitutes, guys who are sex tourists. Traveling doesn't mean that you're important. I know a lot of clowns who travel the globe. I know a lot of clowns who get on an airplane and travel. Doesn't take away from the fact that you're still a clown. I'm here to set the record straight. I don't care where you travel to. You're still a clown. Paint your face like Ronald McDonald. Put a red wig on. Put 2 left shoes on. Put 2 red left shoes on. That's what you can do.
Who are doing something to create an institution for the American African people. Can you name me one person doing something of significance besides complain about African immigrants? Can you name me one person?
Well, this
And
is
what
a
are they
new journey. So, of course, like anything.
Well, FBA people are putting things together. Guess what? Instead of being labeled African, you're going to have foundational Black Americans. You got foundational Black Americans linking up for unity. I can just name Tariq Nasheed off the bat. You know, that's one of many brothers, but since that's the person that everybody knows, Tariq Nasheed is reparations is now up for conversation. You got people on Fox News, mainstream media, people across the globe, people across the world talking about foundational Black Americans. So foundational Black Americans, we're making power moves on a daily basis. So I don't know what Dr. Umar is talking about. What? You've been talking about building a school for 15 years and you still ain't got that school up. You don't need to be talking. You've been talking about this school for the last 15 years and you ain't opened that school yet. Got the nerve to talk about no pretendians and no foundational Black Americans. Foundational Black Americans and pretendians, you are not allowed at the FDNG Academy. Who cares? The school is never going to open anyway.
Else they have to start somewhere, and I guess it's going to start by, and stop saying I hate Africans, because I never said that. I never said that. I said I hate anybody that undermines. I want to give the clarity. I never said I hate a specific group of people. I said anybody that undermines our people, I don't agree with.
I appreciate your clarity. Now, getting back to the question, can you name somebody who has an issue with African immigrants who are doing something besides talk to empower the American African people?
What are you doing besides talking? You've been talking about building a school for 15 years, but yet and still the school is not open yet. You're just talking. You produce nothing. You are just talking. You produce absolutely nothing.
Using our own money. Who?
Well, there's a lot of people.
Who's building a relevant institution for the Black American?
He's not on my neck. He's not actually. No, I'm talking about whoever's in the comments.
Don't worry about the comments.
Shout out to Student Warrior Scholar. Student Warrior Scholar has blessed us with a cash app. I appreciate you, my brother. Like always, you come through always. One of my main contributors, one of my main supporters. Shout out to you, my brother.
Yeah.
I got all type of coons in there. I got Zesty Fest. I got bunnies. I got all kind of stuff in there. Don't worry about them. If you look, don't look at the comments. Okay, I attract all kind of flies from the shit stack.
It's
Don't
crazy. We can have difference of opinion.
Yes,
that's
we
the
can.
thing with
and
people.
I love you, my sister.
They don't think that you can have a difference of opinion and still be cool with somebody.
Yes, we are. We are good. We are family. We are family.
They gotta grow up.
I agree with you, my queen. Now, to my question, who is building an institution?
You are not building an institution. You're not leading by example. You keep asking her, who was building the institution? You're not building an institution. You've been talking about a school for the last 15 years and the school is still not open. Why? Because it'll never happen. Be the example of what you're talking about. Dr. Umar, be the example of what you are talking about, but you are not. You are babbling. You are just talking. You produce nothing. That school will never open. The FDMG Academy, this is what he said. Foundational Black Americans, you're not allowed at the FDMG Academy. Pretendians, you're not allowed at the FDMG Academy. ADOS, you're not allowed at the FDMG Academy. Well, guess what? You're not allowed at the FDMG Academy because they're going to kick you out of the FDMG Academy because it's never going to open. You sold the people a fantasy many years ago. You're not living in reality. You continue to sell what? Fantasies. 100%.
Rather than worry about the African immigrants. Do you know somebody who's doing that? Because I don't know of anyone. Without white money. Independently without white money. Who?
I know of a few.
Can you give me
but
somebody?
I can't put their names out because they're gatekeeping.
Okay, I got you.
They're gatekeeping their things right now.
Okay.
So I can't do that.
To be seen, right? I respect.
To be safe.
No, I respect what you're saying. I'm saying to be seen. We will see it eventually.
Yeah.
So, okay. I want to thank you, my sister. You are my sister. I love you, and I will die for you. And I love those lips. Black queens forever, snow bunnies never. Enjoy your day, baby. Enjoy your day.
It's gotten to the teacher.
Black queens forever and snow bunnies never. Black queens forever, snow bunnies never.
Tariq Nasheed wants to tear down everybody else.
Now, I want y'all to listen to these Pan-Africans right here. Listen to these dudes. Pan-African meetups looks like a senior citizen convention. You're not going to see young people. You're not going to see beautiful flying women. It's going to look like a senior citizen event. And much love to our senior citizens. I'm not knocking them. What I'm saying is you only have old people supporting these Pan-Africanist movements. Young people don't want to hear nothing about no Pan-African. That movement is dead. Don't nobody want to hear that. Don't nobody want to hear that.
Tariq Nasheed wants to tear down everybody else.
Yes, he wants to tear down.
That's it. That's all he wants to do. His algorithm is based on who can I point a finger at now? Who can I say something nasty about now? Who can I say something slick about now?
When you think about, I hate to go to like Paulo Freire, in his book Pedagogy of the Press, there's a term that comes to mind when I think about Tariq, and it's called a sub-oppressor. Not necessarily the ultimate oppressor, but Tariq Nasheed is a sub-oppressor. And he used the same tactics that the dominant culture uses, if you want to call it that, to keep people in their place. And he does, and even the game of what his philanthropy, his philanthropic endeavors is to have you respect him. It's always a chess move. Understand that he's a wickedly I like to say, I don't want to say wise.
Break it down with the proper perspective.
I mean, these dudes right here is clowns. They really are. They're clowns. Now, they're so busy talking about Tariq and Nasheed, but nobody pays attention to anything they do. Nobody pays attention to anything they got going on. You know? Nobody cares about what they got going on. Hit the like button. Let's go to the next clip.
But yo, do both. Like, but
Exactly.
the idea is that when I hear you talk, you're parroting one of the the top tier con artists in the community. The system, white supremacy, whatever you want to call it. You know, I don't want to play games with the words. But nonetheless, what I want to say is we are being manipulated and you can't see it. And I get it because you're tired. You're frustrated. You want to see us do better. But yo, do both. Like, but the idea is that when I hear you talk, you're parroting one of the top tier con artists in the community. There's some problem with that. When you really look this up, you see that there's no true scholars, and there's no true scholars that truly understand this thing and will be supporting it the way that I'm talking about from a Black-centered perspective. That look, and I'm going to say it again, because Baba Kaba, he's over there. You know what I mean? Baba Smalls was over there. But what I'm saying is, lots of times these two type of brothers, elders, sometimes they try to look past the thing. They try to look past all the negative and all these type of things, but it will blow up in their faces.
Yeah. I have been saying for such a long time, because and actually, like, I actually got into like a negative conversation with a brother because he was pulling up clips from Professor Smalls saying, see, your own Pan-African God says that the Africans don't like us. And I was just like, well, I mean, I knew that the clip was taken out of context. But
you don't
shout out to Kev 504. I mean, these dudes are real Tariq Nasheed haters. They said he's a scammer, he's pimping the people, he's dividing the people.
I also know people today either don't fully grasp and understand context, or they get to a point where they don't care about context.
They don't care. They just looking
and
for.
It's like, if I got the sound bite, that's A to Z. I got the sound bite. He said it, he said it, he said it. And they don't care nothing else about what came before it and what came after. And I even saw, I saw a video again from hip hop. I saw a video of Method Man. And he was talking amongst like some brothers on the street or whatever. And somebody wanted to they was like, can we use this as an interview? And he was like, no. He was like, I'm gonna tell you why I don't do interviews. Because you say something and you intend it for one way, and then whoever was doing the interview, they go back and start cutting and clipping and snipping, and then it's saying something else. And he said, I'll give you a perfect example. And then he just started saying some outlandish, crazy stuff, right? And it was just like, are you sitting there? It's like, oh my God. And then when he got finished, he was like, nah, I ain't mean none of that. Now, if I gave you the okay for this whole interview, I know exactly what part of this you're going to play. And everybody in the round was like, oh, well, he got a point there. Because all people want is the soundbite.
Yeah.
And once they get a soundbite, they done. And so it's just like I said earlier, I was glad when Professor Smalls finally came out and was just like, look, there's some people saying stuff and they taking my words out of context. And, it was an hour-long conversation and they playing the 3 minutes where I bombed on Africa, but they ain't playing the 15 minutes where I bombed on us. And this, that, and the other. And I'm like, finally, because if people don't put it out there, if people don't take charge.
Yeah, they're jealous, man. I'm gonna be real with you, man. The face of a jealous man. The face of a jealous man. This is the face of a jealous man. Jealousy, envy, and jealousy is coming from these Pan-Africans. Pan-Africans hate foundational Black Americans. This is jealousy. This is the face of envy from Pan-African tethers.
Of the narrative, where you see what happened.
You know, and as I
you got people trolling in the comment section, disrespecting family. Am I worried about them? No, they're just trolling for attention. They're not stopping anything. They're just trolling because they're a bunch of angry trolls. Let them troll. They're not stopping anything.
see Dr. Mayat, peace, Dr. Mayat, in the building, I can't say the name, Wahop, or something like that. Blessings, blessings to all the family, and you know, I think you make a great point, and I wrote something.
Shout out to Kev 504 for the super chat.
Because of what they've been saying, and I'll just read it. I said, I understand why some people gravitate towards the idea of defining our specific lineage in the United States. That part makes sense, but we also have to be honest about what FBA actually is and how it functions today. Whether people want to admit it or not, Tariq Nasheed is the mind behind it. He is the architect of the ideology, the terminology, the framing, and the political direction of the movement. Now, let me back up and tell you what the meme was that I created. It was FBA.
Yeah, I know. Shout out to Ricky Owens. I see you up in the building, sister. And yes, they'll never call in. They'll never call in.
An identity with an ideology, because they keep saying it's a lineage, not just a pure lineage, as some attempt to argue. Again, the meme I created said FBA. Go get the meme and share it everywhere, family. Go to my page on Facebook. Go to my page on Instagram, Dr. Dennis Asar Winkler. Go and share it everywhere, because we have to look. You have to really lean on your social scientists when we're talking about this thing. And I tell people, I told in at the bottom is I said I wrote an entire dissertation on Black identity. So I know that all identity is socio-political. There's no neutral identities. FBA is not a neutral lineage. It has a whole ideology behind it, and it has a lot of the founders' thoughts in there. And the reality is, when I don't listen to the founder, but I'm like, what are all these people saying that their rebuttals are horrible? Their rebuttals are horrible. But then I go and listen to
Ms. Mimi says she wants to delineate from these tethers. Delineation. Shout out to the foundational Black Americans. Miss Mimi said delineate from tethers. We must separate in order to elevate. We must separate in order to elevate. We did it in the 40s. We did it in the 50s. Integration destroyed Black businesses in the 60s. Moving on into the 70s. We must separate in order to elevate. Let's keep that in mind, family. Salute to the fam. Make sure that you guys subscribe to the channel. If you haven't subscribed to the platform, make sure that you do so.
Someone sends me a clip about their founder, Tariq Nasheed, or the thought leader, because if you don't want to say a leader, you cannot say he's not your thought leader. Or a thought, and their rebuttals are horrible. Their rebuttals are horrible. But then I go and listen to someone sends me a clip about their founder, Tariq Nasheed, or the thought leader, because if you don't want to say a leader, you cannot say he's not your thought leader, or he's not a thought leader in this regard. So whatever you want to play the games, is it not an organization? Movements don't have to be organizations. Mussolini, as I told people, he didn't have to create a organization. Hitler didn't have to create an organization. People don't have to go and create organizations to literally have. They don't have to be filed.
Right.
You don't have to call it. it's the same thing when people play games when they say, I am some type of religion. Okay, let me just give an example. I am Hebrew, but I am not, this is not a religion, this is a way of life. This is the game people are playing.
Yes.
This is not a religion, this is a way of life.
Semantics.
This is not a political ideology. This is a lineage, and then hence then some would say now they're moving on to try to kind of combat it by saying things like, well, it's the delineation, which is the ideology, but you cannot, I repeat, you cannot separate even delineating from FBA. You cannot separate what they're speaking about, their talking points, away from FBA. So let me go on with this reading. FBA also did not emerge in a vacuum. It appeared immediately after ADOS gained national attention through the work of Yvette Carnell, Antonio Moore. Scholars and movements observers widely note that FBA redirected or repurposed much of the momentum of ADOS that ADOS created. Whether someone calls it splintering, rebranding, or competing lineage claim, the outcome is the same. The conversation shifted toward Tariq Nasheed's platform, style, and worldview. Another factor that cannot be ignored is Tariq's pattern of creating conflict. This is what he does.
Exactly.
Stepping back and then denying involvement. That is throwing stone.
Delineating is a problem. Delineation is a major problem for tethers. Delineates, and I stumble and I fumble. Separate in order to elevate or get eliminated. Delineates, separates, motivation for mind elevation, inspiration, all at the same time. Game delivered by King Supreme. Make sure that you like this stream. Separate in order to elevate. And that's first things first. Alienation, delineation, separation, and division is what we are talking about today.
And hiding hands. The dynamic has fueled unnecessary infighting within the Black community. Historically, internal conflict has been a recurring problem amongst oppressed groups, shaped by centuries of divide and conquer strategies under white supremacy ideology, if you want to put on the internet. Lateral hostility, suspicion, and fragmentation have deep roots. These patterns are not new. And I say these patterns are not new because you're acting like you're delineating, you're doing something new. This is always what Black people have been taught to do worldwide.
Yeah, shout out to my brother, Dewan B, man. Shout out to Dewan B, man. That's my bro right there. Got love for Dewan B doing this thing over there, man. Gotta love Dewan B for sure.
They've been delineating. If you don't hear too many people and people, you hear Jamaicans say I'm not African, African Americans say I'm not African, or Black American, I'm not this, I'm not that. We've been delineating for a long time. What we have not been doing is Pan-Africanizing. That's what we have not been doing. So the mind, see, I think people think that they're deeper and sharper than they truly are. And so and what I mean, I said it with all due respect. But what I am saying is none of your scholars, none of your greatest minds would agree.
I'm going to bring you guys up in another 5 minutes. So give me 5 minutes. I'm going to bring some people up.
With this. In fact, the people who Tariq Nasheed has pimped, and yes, I'm saying pimped, because I have firsthand. Hold on, let me back up. Patterns are not new because you're acting like you're delineating, you're doing something new. This is always what Black people have been taught to do worldwide. They've been delineating. If you don't hear too many people and people, you hear Jamaicans say I'm not African, say I'm not African, or Black American, I'm not this, I'm not that. We've been delineating for a long time. What we have not been doing is Pan-Africanizing. That's what we have not been doing. So the mind, see, I think people think that they're deeper and sharper than they truly are. And so and what I mean, I said it with all due respect. But what I am saying is none of your scholars, none of your greatest minds would agree with this. In fact, the people who Tariq Nasheed has pimped, and yes, I'm saying pimped, because I have firsthand. Hold on, let me back up. Not unconsciously. Well, what I'm saying, I have firsthand account. He pimped a lot of us. Those who participate and those who watch and view his mess. And what I'm saying is,
run game in
I've talked to the elders before now. I'm talking about years ago, and they said Tariq is a mess. But you understand? I'm not a look. People who try to get an opportunity, I get it, but get in and get out. Get in and get out. It's like the way I look at it. Like, would I go on NBC? Yeah, I would go on NBC. I don't think NBC is my ally. I don't think NBC is for my people. Nor is Tariq. Tariq is not for you. Tariq is not for us. Don't get stuck with that man. I get why people would take the opportunity, but don't get stuck over there, because Tariq is a problem, and what he wants to do is pimp people. And the fact I got sent the interview from a dear sister, and in that interview that Tariq did recently, he said, "I'm taking James Smalls off of everything." Look, and then people are going to sit around and be okay with that. Like Kaba, you putting stuff up, Baba Kaba, you putting things up. Like, look, it's time for your elders to step up. And go ahead.
The crazy thing is
they shooting. Nah, made you look. You a slave to a page in my rhyme book. They shooting. Nah, made you look. You a slave to a page in my rhyme. Now let's get on with the show. We must separate in order to elevate as foundational Black Americans. 100%.
Years ago, I'm talking minimum 5 years. I want to say even before that, because Tariq been out for a minute. I was hearing other brothers, like, I'm gonna say this, like Sarnetta. Now, I like Sarnetta. I like his channel, and I like, the debate, the conversations that he do. A lot of people be like trying to throw shots at him.
We diverge on that point, but yeah, go ahead.
I know.
I'm just clear. I mean, Sarnetta's okay. I mean, he's a human being. He's my brother, but he is a problem. But go ahead.
All right, this is what we're gonna do, man. I'm gonna bring some of you brothers up. Hold on one.
But what I was saying is, even on his channel, he was calling for the elders to come back out. Like, when everything sort of moved from, being a vendor on the street to trying to do it online and in video.
All right, this is what we're gonna do, man. I'm gonna bring some people up, man. Listen, man. I'm gonna bring a few people up, man. I'm gonna let a few people excuse me, getting tongue tied. I'm gonna let a few people speak, and we're gonna continue to bring that heat. Make sure that you bless the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. The game is heavy. Are you ready?
He was calling for the elders to come back out and like clear the air and make proclamations.
No, I'm gonna bring people up, man. Listen, we won't tolerate trolling. There will be no profanity. There will be no profanity, no foul language. Be professional and speak your piece. Give your thoughts on this. Be professional and speak your piece. That's all I'm asking. So the link will be in the chat. If you want to hit the link, the time is now.
And straighten out some things, because Tariq Nasheed was out there, pivoting and slipping in between the cracks. And no,
I'm just clear. I mean, Sarnetta's okay. I mean, he's a human being. He's my brother, but he is a problem. But go ahead.
But what I was saying is, even on his channel, he was calling for the elders to come back out. Like, when everything sort of moved from, being a vendor on the street to trying to do everything online and in videos, he was calling for the elders to come back out and like clear the air and make proclamations and straighten out some things, because Tariq Nasheed was out there, you know, pivoting and slipping in between the cracks and building his little platform in ways that were counter to the overarching narrative. And most of the elders just ignored it. And I'm like, but again, you know, so I'm just like, it is like, for me, it's high time that more people really, really started addressing and calling out. Now I like that. FBA really stands for faces, fascist, bigotry, Afrophobia, for sure. But it's high time that we really take it to task. And the other thing I wanted to say was, one of the things that you can look at to see that it really boils down to like a cult of personality. Because when Tariq was first like building everything up, he was calling himself the leader. And so everybody pointed to him as the leader. When he started getting a little heat for being the leader, that's when he said, I'm not going to be the leader. Y'all don't tell them I'm your leader. Go out there and tell them I'm not your leader. And everybody started saying to me, not our leader. And then when the name started to change, like they went from whatever word was to the delineation. They went to delineation because Tariq said, well, we don't need to keep using such and such. From now on, we just gonna start using delineate. And all of the bobbleheads started saying, well, what's wrong with delineation? So every time he
what's wrong with
pivot, sidestep, switch it up.
What's wrong with delineation? What is wrong with delineation? There should be nothing wrong with delineation for a foundational Black American. Shouldn't nothing be wrong with that. We must separate to elevate, delineate, separate. Elevation, mind elevation, medication for mind elevation. And what is that? That is game, knowledge, and wisdom. Knowledge that you can't get in college. I suggest that you pay homage to the FBA movement. Oh man, daily improvement, paying homage to the FBA movement. Certified, bona fide. Open your eyes to realize what's staring you right in the face.
He do it because he getting heat from other people in other corners. And so he got to sidestep and switch it up so he can try to keep that hot, brand new energy. And everybody just follow lock, stock, and barrel. And they change their talking points based on when he changed. When he turned the page, they turned the page. They ain't thinking about nothing other than that.
And one thing pimps know well, I'm calling them charlatans. They know that if he just makes...
I'm finna bring you guys up in another 60 seconds. I'm finna bring all of you guys up. I'm bringing all of you guys up. Just wait another 60 seconds.
A shift.
Step and switch it up and try to keep that hot, brand new energy. And everybody just follow lock, stock, and barrel. And they change their talking points based on when he changed. When he turned the page, they turned the page. They ain't thinking about nothing other than that.
And one thing pimps know well, and I'm calling them charlatans. They know that if he just makes a shift, we forget real quick.
Yeah.
And we're very forgiving people. And due to our trauma, we want to see us win. And the desire to see us win has us looking past some very fundamental problems. You know what I mean? And so it's like, don't tear a Black man down. This Black man is the best at tearing down Black men and women. I don't think there's a person out here. I'm not even speaking about those who they call tethers. I am saying American FBAs. Look, the fact that I say something, the first thing they say out of their mouth, where are you from? Where are you from? If I say something, they start to ask the question, where are you from? I'm from United States. My family is from the United States. This is my dear cousin right here. Blood kin. Our family come up through the Virginia area. My DNA shows it. You understand what I'm saying? But guess what? I don't care. I don't care. You understand what I'm trying to say? There's people DNA to show that they've been here and also in the islands. But what I'm saying is, at the same time, I want you to keep this clear, that this does not mean that I don't see the significance in being able to isolate variables for the sake of study. I am a social scientist. I do that. I understand. We isolating variables for the sake of study, for the sake of claims and all those type of things, just to measure things and look at things a certain way.
All right, so this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna bring up Kev 504 first, and I'm gonna bring up Eric. Kev, where you at, man?
Hey, how's it going, Red?
Pretty good,
Yeah,
brother.
all
You
right,
got it.
good. I see you got the new channel. I'm glad I caught up with you. Yeah, I'm Kev 504 from New Orleans. So when I get into getting online on YouTube and stuff, and I go back and forward with some of these Pan Africans and 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 whatever the diaspora, they always say that we separating ourselves. We never heard of no unity with no damn Pan Africans. We was never into that. I think that's some East Coast New York stuff. That's their thing. Whatever they game they playing, man, we ain't got none of the South ain't rolling with that. And I know the East Coast, the West Coast now. What
No.
unity? What division? If you're Nigerian, you're Nigerian. If you're a Jamaican, you're Jamaican. We always respect. Well, I've been around Jamaicans. I haven't been around the whole diaspora like that. But Jamaicans usually say, they do their own thing. So this whole unity thing is, I think, is just a ploy to get in on the reparations, right?
Yeah.
They got a group right now in New York writing up a reparations bill, but they snuck it in the bill. Of Africans' descent in slavery. No, that's not. See, that's their way of putting everybody in that. And so we just got to just keep on pushing like we doing, man. Like these dudes here talking about it. I wish this was the old days on your channel. Well, these dudes here, man, I wouldn't even worry about them. Don't even worry about our business. Worry about your business, and you can fill in the blanks with that one, bro.
Yeah.
How I feel about it. But that's all right. Keep pushing, man. I'm glad I found the channel. I will be here supporting the channel as always.
I appreciate you, my
Good
brother.
information.
All right. Shout out to Kev 504. Breeze Omega, man. Let's bring up Breeze Omega.
What it do, certified salute, Big Red. I appreciate you. I'm glad you got the new channel and everything. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Hey, no doubts, my good brother. I appreciate you all what you're doing, stomping on the grounds for FBA lineage. And what I want to say is, first off, that dude sitting there with that damn hat and that vest on, that shit bugged me. But I want to say that, that this delineation movement that we got going on it's a bug in their ass. They can't get over it. So they upset because this shit drying up all them Pan-African biscuits,
Hey, but you gotta watch the curse words
Oh,
because they've been policing me
okay, I'm
heavy.
sorry, brother. I forgot.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I'm just letting you know. For some reason, they've been policing me heavy with the language, so we're gonna keep it clean though. But you got it.
My bad, brother. I'll keep that right. But this delineation is, pounding them out, and they can't figure out a way to get around it. So they got to make Tariq the bad guy. Because for one reason, I realize is, as I was seeing on TikTok, they all think if you bring down Tariq, that's going to stop the delineation movement, and it's not going to happen. We just letting them know that this shit is real. Oop, shit again. I ain't mean to say that. It's just,
Go ahead,
I'm
bro.
just talking. It's like, but this is real. This stuff is real that we are presenting in front of people. We've been saying this for years. It's time to get on our square and push these suckers out. That's what's going to have to happen because all these people have been riding on our backs and we've been carrying it like a beast of burden. And now we saying, we no longer carrying all y'all wagons. Y'all going to have to slide off to the side, get out of our way. If you're not down with what we doing, then just move on, brother. You can be whatever you want over there. We're not hating on y'all. Y'all come into our spaces. We're not in y'all spaces. I don't see real FBA people in these people's spaces. So what I'm saying is for us, we just got to stay to the ground up and stay to the pound up. That's what it is. We staying on our square. We're going to keep on kicking. And if we have to smash down, that's what we're going to do. Thank you, Red.
Appreciate you, Breeze Omega. Anytime, my brother. Pull on up. Let's bring up King Judah. King Judah, where you at, bro? Oh, shit. You got it, King Judah.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. You got it.
Oh yeah. So look, I want to cook on the Umar, bro. But first, I gotta give my I gotta let you know what happened the other night, bro. So anyway, if you don't mind, because you know what I'm saying, I know you said you
Yeah,
seen me.
you can go ahead and get your spill, bro.
So listen, look, I want to paint the picture for you, right? So you can understand exactly what's going on, right? So I knew who this Black Authority dude was. I had been subscribed to the guy just because I think in the past I may have heard a few videos, and I subscribe to anything where people speaking Black power. But I was never actually a fan. I never actually listened to this guy. You know what I mean? Like I never until last night. So the video he was doing, the live stream was about Nick Fuentes. And he had Nick Fuentes was on Piers Morgan, and Piers Morgan was kind of playing devil's advocate, where it was a situation where Piers Morgan is not from America, so Piers Morgan was coming from the angle of basically, in so many words, it was almost like he was pointing out Nick Fuentes' racism the racism of the Republican Party in America. So basically, Piers Morgan was basically questioning him on some of the racist rhetoric of the right wing of the Republican Party. He kept trying to explain it away, and Piers Morgan was giving him numbers like, no, you're wrong. What you're doing is racist. You know what I'm saying? Like it's actually racism. So Nick Fuentes kept trying to explain it away, and he was even saying that he played a clip where Nick Fuentes was saying that to make the country better, they have to get rid of immigrants. Most Black men should be jailed. That's what he said. He said the majority of Black men should be jailed. And then Piers Morgan was like, well, why would you say that? And he was like, well, 1 in 20 Black men will commit an unaliving throughout their life cycle. So long story short, he was like, no, he actually looked up the numbers, and Piers Morgan said, no, it's actually 1 in 100. He said, so you just made that number up out of nowhere. So I say all that to say this, I'm painting this picture, and the whole time, the Black Authority, we on the same page. I'm in this chat, we on the same page. He's basically saying that what Nick Fuentes is a white supremacist. Why are you guys, for whatever reason, the MAGA party, they believe Fuentes is going to be their next leader. When Trump is gone, they are putting all their eggs in the basket on Fuentes. But I say all that to say this. So we on the same page. Now, mind you, Red, this is where I lost all respect for this guy. I'm in this chat. We agreeing on the same thing. This dude is a white supremacist. He's a problem, right? So throughout that thing, I do the same thing in your chat, Red. I don't agree with everything you say. I never have, but I've never had an issue with you. So I do what I always do. I was looking at all these people, and I'm looking at, I don't know how many people is in this chat, but I know they majority Black. And I'm looking at all these people talking about how bad white supremacy is, how bad Nick Fuentes is, Charlie Kirk, and all these people, and Donald Trump. And when I seen that, that's when I put, well, shit, if y'all my bad, if y'all got such a problem with these Republicans and Donald Trump, why did so many of you Black people vote for Trump this term? Because there's no question that since I've been on YouTube, I've seen a large portion of Black people vote for Donald Trump, and I don't have an issue with that as a whole. It is what it is. But my point is, I don't like for people to say one thing, oh, we got such a problem with these white supremacists, but you voted for them. You voted for that party because Nick Fuentes, he basically proved my point because he said, don't you think that's racist? How do you think Black people would feel about that? Black Americans. He said, Black Americans love me. He said, they love me. They support me. They always see me and they tap me on my shoulder and tell me I'm doing a good job. That's my issue I have with Black people, because white supremacists will use your support for them to justify talking down on FBA and creating laws and policies that destroy our community. And they'll do it with a smile on their face. And they'll say, I'm doing nothing wrong because these Black people support me. Now, he saw that in his chat, right? He saw me say that. I said, why so many of y'all voted? Well, I said, this is how I said it. I said, why did so many of you people, you Black people, vote for Donald Trump? And the way I worded it, I'm sure he thought I was a white man because I said you people, right? So when he brought me up, the first thing I said was, I know you thought I was white, but I'm Black. And he was like, no, he got defensive already. I know that's why you brought me up, because if you didn't, the first thing he said when he saw my chat, he highlighted it. Oh yeah, inside the square circle with King Judah, I'm going to give you a chance to come up and speak on that. See, you do this to yourselves. You guys do this to yourselves. Now he thought he was going to read me my rights. You know what I'm saying? He thought I was a white guy. He was about to read me my rights. But when I explained my position to him, the same way I explained my position to you many times, every time I come up here in the Republican and Democrat topic come up, we don't disagree. We don't agree all the time. And I come to the conclusion is because we from different parts of the world. You from the West Coast, I'm from the South. we see it slightly different. It's nothing wrong with that. But this guy couldn't seem to understand this, right? So his whole thing was, I'm gonna read you your rights. And instead of him telling me his problem with my statement, because that's what he should have did, he immediately started questioning me. So he said, you said that all black people voted for Donald Trump. And I said, no, not all. I said it was a large number. He said, what number then? I said, well, I don't have the exact number, but I do know from being on YouTube channels that there are a large portion of black people that voted for Donald Trump. And I feel like it's hypocritical.
Well, I will say this. I will say this, Judah. The overwhelming majority of black people voted for Kamala Harris. Only a small percentage of us voted for Donald Trump. The Latinos and the whites is what put Trump in office. Because if this election was left to FBA or blacks in general, Kamala would be in office right now. Now, I voted for Trump not because I like his views. Kamala Harris was going to keep the borders open. Only reason why I voted for Trump, because I knew he would go hard on illegal immigrants. The Democrats was going to keep the borders wide open and overpopulate black communities across the country. That's why I didn't vote for Democrats. So I voted for Trump not because I liked him. I voted for Trump because he's hard on these immigration policies. The Democrats are the ones who kept the borders wide open for them to overpopulate our communities. So that's why. And there's two reasons why I didn't vote for Democrat. For one, I'm not going to vote for female leadership. For one. For two, I'm not going to vote for open borders. So that was my reason for voting for Trump. Not that I disagree with a lot of stuff that he does, but I voted for him strictly based on that alone. But hey, man, you got it. Because I heard the exchange. I said, well, King Judah going at it with the Black Authority.
Well, break it. I want to break it all the way down in full detail so you can get a clear picture of what actually happened. You know what was going on. So, and again, what you just said, Red, I have no problem with you as a man telling me your reasons you did what you did. Right? Because I can't change what you did, and I'm not trying to. That was my whole thing with him. So what I realized quickly with him when I was talking to him, he didn't call me up there to have a dialogue. He called me up there for content. Right? Because you're obviously not listening to me, because again, Red, I never said that all black people. Actually, I never gave a number. So technically, I never gave a number even in your chat. I said a lot of black people voted for them. A lot can be anything. A lot can be my interpretation of a lot. Now, mind you, if you talk about the 20 something million black people in America, I don't know that number either, but I know it's millions of us, right? And even if I say a lot, even if it comes out that, let's say I'm just throwing numbers out there, let's say if it was only 15% of black people voted for Trump, that can still look like a lot to me. That's my interpretation. So I never gave you a number. I just said a lot, right? So then he immediately started asking me, well, what number do you have? I said, well, I don't have numbers. I just know that I've been on multiple platforms, Coach Greg Adams, Black Ram 313, BGS. I've been arguing. I've been on the Black Conservative channel arguing with not just the host, but their chat also about how much I disdain Republicans and Donald Trump. So I say I know a lot of black people support Donald Trump because I've conversed with them, argued with them, and debated with them throughout this election, right? So then he said, what would you say is 20%? I'm still trying to be respectful at this point, Red. I said, I told you I don't have the numbers. Then this nigga said, would it be 30%? I say, bro, didn't I just tell you I didn't have the numbers? Why do you keep asking me numbers? I say, now, because what you're doing right now, you trying to, like, how I want to say this, you trying to disrespect me without overtly disrespecting me, because respectfully, I told you I don't actually have numbers. And I respectfully told you that I never even gave numbers in your chat. The statement that you brought me up here for didn't include numbers. So why are you asking me numbers? But he didn't want to stick on that. He then goes to start to try to disrespect me, but not like I said, not overtly, but covertly disrespect me. So I said, now that I'm picking up on you covertly disrespecting me, I will overtly disrespect you. And that's probably the part that you came in on. It came in on when I had lost all respect, because you didn't call me up there for a conversation. And more importantly, if you had a problem with what I said and you thought what I said was wrong, why didn't you just correct me instead of asking me questions? And I also told him, since you're so big on numbers and you said that there is no way that black people, all I said was a large number did, and you said that they didn't. I said you should have the numbers to prove that no black people voted for Trump. Because that's basically what you're saying. You telling me I'm wrong because I said black people voted for Trump. The only way you can prove me wrong is for you to provide the numbers that no black people voted for Trump. And obviously he couldn't win that argument at that point. So then he started to disrespect and overtalk me. Now this is the thing, Red. At first I thought we was gonna have a conversation where it was back and forth. But when he started to cut me off, now you're the mod. This is your show. You control if we cut each other off or not. So as the moderator of the show, if you're cutting me off, then I have to cut you off because you are controlling the interaction. So if you're going to cut me off, I have to cut you off because you control whether or not we cut each other off. And that's what you walked in on.
Well, yeah, excuse me. Well, I appreciate you for pulling up because people sent that to me. They was like, Red, your boy was arguing with the Black Authority. So they sent it to me last night. I was in traffic and they sent it to me and I heard the back and forth. I'm like, whoa, what was this about?
Yo, let me tell you something. I'm gonna say this before because I do want to give something quick on this Umar thing. It's gonna be real quick though, since I took up a lot of time talking about that. But I didn't know this guy, right? But I'm assuming that he probably has good insights on social economic views, you know, especially when it pertains to Black people, because he has a following. I don't believe that following came out of nowhere. But I will tell you from talking to him, I've picked up on he may be smart. He may know what he's talking about when it comes to Black people or Black topics, but he is very disingenuous and he lacks integrity. I will say that. But with Umar, man, this dude, instead of trying to tell people about the FBA, and somebody in your chat made a good point. It's like nobody else calls themselves African this. I never heard a Haitian say I'm African Haitian or a Jamaican say I'm African Jamaican. You know, but you have a problem with Black people not wanting to associate with Africa, especially when Africans come here and disrespect us. And I'm gonna say this right before I get off. He tried to gaslight that Black woman he was talking to by saying, if we had more power, don't you think they would treat us better? First of all, we shouldn't have to have power to get respect from people that you claim is our family to begin with. That's when you messed up the first time. Why do we have to garner power for people that you claim is our family that loves us to respect us? Secondly, Hispanics don't have any power in America, yet you don't see in large numbers Africans coming here and disrespecting Hispanics. So again, Umar, you are wrong again.
Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you, Judah, for coming up and speaking on the situation, man. You already know, man. We rock, man. We good. You know, we ain't gotta agree with each other to be brothers, man. We agree with a lot of things, but as human beings, we're not supposed to agree on everything. But we agree on most things that's important. You know what I'm saying? For the most part. So that's the only thing that matters, man. But I definitely appreciate you for pulling up, my brother. So
got you.
All right. Shout out to Judah for pulling up, man. I appreciate Judah. But listen, you guys, I'm gonna wrap this show up. I appreciate, Judah, my dog, right? But one thing that you know about me is I'm not voting for no Democrat. It don't matter if you're talking about Republicans. I'm gonna bring my boy Scoop up because I want Scoop to speak on this. Listen, it don't matter if you're voting for a Republican or a Democrat. They're all for white people, regardless how you try to slice it, regardless of how you try to cut it. They're all for white people. You know what I mean? Left wing, right wing is all white supremacy. Left wing, right wing is all white supremacy. You got to pick your poison. Now, I voted for Donald Trump because Donald Trump was going to go hard on illegal immigrants and close the borders. That's the only reason that I voted for him. Kamala Harris would have kept the borders open and gave immigrants a green card to overpopulate Black communities. That's exactly what Kamala did. So for one, I'm not going to vote for female leadership because female leadership goes against the word of God, for one. For two, I'm not voting for open borders. I vote against open borders. That is why I voted for Donald Trump. Female leadership goes against the word of God. When you see female pastors, clearly that's against the word of God. You ain't got no damn business in that church in the first place. Because that's exactly what it is. Female leadership goes against the word of God. So no. You'll never see me doing anything. You'll never see me doing that. Let me just put it like that. You'll never see me doing that. Let me bring up Scoop real quick. Scoop, you there, my brother? Let me bring up Scoop so Scoop can cook. You got it, bro. I don't know, man. Something must be wrong with the audio. But listen, man, I'm going to tap on out, man. I appreciate everybody for pulling on up. We had a wonderful show. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Make sure that you bless the like button. When this live stream uploads to YouTube, make sure that you hype the video. Like, share, and subscribe. King Supreme on a mission, baby. Now, I got another show coming up in 20 minutes. 10 a.m. at 10 a.m., I got a show coming up. We're talking about Mexicans in Los Angeles, how Mexicans want to be rappers, but they disrespect blacks every chance they get. It is crazy. So I'm going to address the black and Mexican issue in Los Angeles at 10 a.m. Oh, yeah. So tap back in another 20 minutes. We'll be live, chopping up game. Tap in with us. Make sure that you be there.